Hey there! So, this is the first episode of a little series I want to do about character design. I find character design really interesting, and I wanted to share what I know about it with you guys. Plus, I feel like it might spark conversation and discussion, and I can learn some new things about it too. I'm gonna hopefully be redesigning characters from popular TV shows, video games, etc., but I also want to do some more original character designs with you guys too, even if that means critiquing and redesigning my own characters. So let me know if you guys want a specific character, or maybe for me to look at a specific show or game or something, and I'll give it a look. Now for this episode, I thought I would do something pretty simple and redesign a character that my girlfriend made in the Monster Girl Maker app that was really popular a little while ago. So let's jump into that. So the first thing I did is I changed her body type. All the girls in the Monster Girl Maker app have the same face and body type with no option to change it, which I think is super lame. So changing her body type is a really good way to already add a lot of interest to her silhouette. I also wanted to emphasize her softness and friendliness, so she's made almost entirely of circles and softer shapes because circles very typically express safety, stability, and friendliness. So there's not a lot of edge on this character right now, but we'll change that later. The next thing I did was I gave her a sweater dress, which I guess is still a sweater, but longer. The dress expresses a bit of her feminine nature and her more cutesy side, but the casual, baggy sweater also gives her a look of comfort above fashion. And this character loves flowers and working with them, arranging them, all that stuff, so she definitely needs to have comfort as a priority. The boots I gave her were a bit of a cop-out choice because shoes really aren't my forte, but I think they also add a nice bit of edge to her design to counteract against the femininity of the dress. They also emphasize the fact that she's not afraid to get dirty and traipse around outside because, hey, that's what boots are for, right? As I mentioned, flowers are a really big motif for this character. She works with flowers constantly, and you can see she's got a flower in her hair and she's got a flower tattoo. But what's also there is that her buns kind of resemble rosebuds. So that's a nice way to bring the idea of flowers into the character without expressly putting it out there. So even if she didn't have the flower in her hair or the tattoo, she'd still have that feeling of flowers in her silhouette. Next is colors. So the first thing I did was just select the colors straight off the original image from the app. This is a good base, but I definitely changed some of these colors later. My main issue with the colors, as they were, was that the skin and hair tones were very similar. Their saturation matched each other too closely, and it kind of makes the colors blend in with each other, which is not what we want. So I went in and saturated the hair a little more, which I think I edited that color a few times actually. I also add some more saturation to the flower in her hair and the trim of her sweater. And I made this color palette really simple. I only use a couple of colors, but I put each color in multiple places so that it encourages the eye to move around and find all the spots of similar color. And that's a really useful technique in character design too, one that I'm really fond of using. Another important thing about this character are all the things that I put in flat black, like her nails and her piercings and her tattoo. So these things are meant to emphasize the character's inability to be pushed around. She's a confident and sure-footed character, and it's important to get that trait across in her visual design so that she doesn't read as completely soft and demure or anything. So these little bits of flat black really accentuate this part of her personality because they contrast so heavily with the color palette full of pastel and neon pinks. really interesting about this character is the patches of neon pink all over her skin. This was in the original design, of course, but I think it's a nice way to carry the eye throughout the character, especially since it's the same color as the eyes. It really lets the color be the main focus without overriding the rest of the picture. It's still neon pink, but it's a little more faded since it's blended against the skin a bit more than just a flat color. It also helps the eyes to not look totally out of place with the rest of the color palette, since they are so bright and dramatic. And then, with a bit of shading, she's all done. So hopefully you guys found this video interesting, because I do love to design and redesign characters. I've done a little test of this kind of thing over on my Tumblr by redesigning characters from Total Drama, just not in video form. And the little essays I wrote along with all those redesigns were very interesting to me, so I thought I would put it in a more easy to consume format. So there will be more of these videos in the future, along with other different videos to fill in the gaps between these and all that. So thanks for watching, and I'll talk to everyone soon!